But if I was to say this 2 years ago, I would have been instantly labeled the second coming of Adolf. But I think the next contentious topic is gonna be the heavy cultural nepotism in the hiring process amongst Indians. And again, I want to be clear, and I'm not backpedaling in any way. I have no issues with Indians running businesses and being employees and making a success story of themselves. I have no issue with that. But what I do have a problem with is when I walk into a Walmart or Tim Hortons, obviously, we all know that. That's become sort of a meme now. There is a clear prejudice, a clear hiring bias that is noticeable and I think should be considered unacceptable. And I think our forgiving, apologetic, submissive culture has allowed this to run rampant for far too long because we don't want to say anything, because we don't want to be rude and blah, blah, blah. And I think cultures, other cultures, they don't give a fuck about permission and consideration, and they're gonna do what the fuck they want if you let them. And I think what's happening is that, I mean, you see it come to fruition at these places. And I mean, there is a clear bias. And I know, of 2 or 3 guys that deal with the hiring process at their businesses. And they are saying to me that even at the upper level, like, if you're not Indian, your resume is getting thrown out if you don't speak Punjabi. I mean, that's appalling. That should be the biggest thing that anyone's talking about right now. That is a cancer that will spread and create such division and strife that you will have possibly borderline conflict, if not open conflict. So to nip this in the bud now is paramount. To identify the fact that we cannot have people hiring only the people from their own culture and imposing the caste system on their own. I mean, and make no mistake, these Indians that are in hiring positions, they know they're bringing the caste system to Canada. They know that they can squeeze their subordinates so much easier than a Canadian. Because a Canadian, they won't put up with that kind of shit. But they know, a lot of these Indians that are here on temporary work visas, Lima permits, whatever. And they know they can bully them into submission. And if they don't submit, then they get sent the fuck back home. So, it's just weird to me that a culture that wants to leave their country and come here for a better life ends up recreating, almost copy and pasting a mirror image of their own country here. So they want to leave and come here for improvement and advancement, and then all they end up doing is reproducing the own flaws that they're trying to escape, and then also like crushing their own people in the process. I mean, these are not liberated, happy employees. These are almost, voluntary slaves. They're not thriving. And so I think, again, this is an issue that, everybody gets boned in this situation. The victims of the caste system and the Canadian-born citizen who has their wages suppressed, their quality of life demolished, and just the overall standard of existence here diminished. And I'm hoping it becomes more and more talked about. Personally, for me, I am in open protest of places like Tim Hortons, Walmart, anywhere I see a prejudice in the hiring practice. And I'm not saying that, I want to be clear, I'm not saying that like an Indian can't be Canadian born, because that's not true. But when I see, you can get a sense, just in terms of linguistic ability and just general demeanor, who is born here and who ain't. If you have any kind of intuition, not even a high level of it, you can see clearly the difference. So again, I don't want to say that I'm writing off anyone who's brown because I'm assuming there's some TFW scam artist, because I know there are genuine Indians that are Canadian born that are proud of this country. And take, for example, that trucker guy that just made that video. I mean, he's unbelievable. He makes me so goddamn proud to be Canadian, and he's remarkable. And but you can clearly tell and then you cross-reference it with, you look at the amount of Lima permits that these places are extending, and you look at the way they're lobbying for more TFWs. These are, what's happening here. And for anyone that might want to admonish me as some kind of xenophobe, fuck off. You don't get to talk. You're not equipped for this conversation. And to just write me off with some sort of generic moron label, fuck off. Because that ain't what it is. We need to bring back cultural and ethnic diversity, true diversity, not pretend diversity. How can you say you're a cultural mosaic and you walk into places like fucking Newton or Surrey or Richmond or Brampton? How can you say that's emblematic of a cultural mosaic, of a melting pot, of diversity? What a lie. And Canadians are told to suck it up, Have some more, please. No. Fuck you. So, I urge other Canadians and implore them to protest these businesses. Don't give them your business. If you see a clear prejudice in terms of hiring practice, don't tolerate it. It's not acceptable.